Hello everyone, intuitive and astrologer Lisa Salvatore here to talk to you about the remainder of August up until the full moon in Aquarius on August 19th. This is a very potent and powerful full moon or lunation. The rest of this month is definitely like accelerated motion forward, both in our personal lives and of course, collectively speaking. We are all feeling this accelerated motion, and I do believe that the collective overtone is relatively anxious, and I don't necessarily mean that in the way of panic attack anxiety, although some people unfortunately do experience it that way. But it's just this heightened sense of something is shifting. Something very major is shifting. It's very palpable. It's very electric on all levels, mind, body, spirit. I think it's safe to say that we are all feeling something. Remember, we are all intuitive beings at the end of the day. We are all energy. We are all connected. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been saying for months that August was going to be a month, which doesn't mean bad. It just means a lot. Today that I'm recording this video, it is August 9th. We are in the midst of Mercury retrograde. There is a lot going on with air travel and disruption there. Mercury is air. Mercury is also retrograde. Delays, reroutes, frustrations. This also happens in the realm of communication and technology, glitches with the internet. We see all of this occurring worldwide. So let's get into the energy mid-month as we get up to that full moon. And then we will pull up the chart and go through the full moon. There might be another video. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure how long this is going to be. I'm going to try to keep it succinct, but there's so much going on here. I broke this down for you in date ranges. And just remember, the astrology, the energies, they are not going to land the same for every single one of us. We all have our own unique astrological configuration. We all have our own unique energy, our own soul, and we can consciously choose to rewire the way that we think about something to allow the effects of it to actually affect us in a different way. So as I always say, take what resonates, throw away what does not, and also take it with a grain of salt, because there's also a lot of power here, and there's also a lot of breaking through tension within our personal lives, within ourselves. As human beings, it is always our instinct. When we hear something negative, we tend to fixate on that, as opposed to the 5 or 6 things that we heard prior to that that could be deemed as positive. So I encourage you, as you are listening to this forecast, to this energy report, that you try not to go and focus on the 1 or 2 pieces that you perceive as problematic or negative, where you stop and say, oh no, and it might give you a tiny feeling or a bit of anxiety. That's not the point. I don't want to incite fear. I just want to incite awareness. Knowing this is half the battle. Then you're able to navigate it a little bit better if something should crop up. Having said that, August 13th through the 16th, we've got a Mars-Jupiter alignment called a conjunction. Mars, the planet of action and energy, force. It's also aggression, it's sexuality. It's the way that we step up. It's the way that we move. It's the way we take action. And Jupiter is expansive, for better or worse. Jupiter is also opportunity that we create or opportunity that comes to us. So this aspect, this Mars-Jupiter conjunction, it's like a turbocharge of energy. It can really turbocharge our minds and be very positive for movement forward and for projects and for revising, for getting things back in motion. We can really feel that energy, especially more strongly if you are mutable, which is Gemini, Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius. You may feel very frustrated and or motivated, which then spurs you into taking action. Just remember to pump the brakes so that you don't spin out. This is strongest August 13th through August 16th. So as this turbocharges our minds, it also has strong potential to turbocharge our mouths and or everyone out in the world, their mouths. This alignment is happening in Gemini. Gemini is the mind. Gemini is words. Gemini is communication and expression. Be very conscious and careful about the words that you are speaking out loud, and more importantly, the words you are saying to yourself, whether it's verbally or whether it's in writing. Be very careful, be very conscious, and don't overpromise or you might spin out. You might get very overwhelmed, again, especially if you have strong Gemini, Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius. And don't forget, you can always go right to my website, lisasalvatore.com. My links are in the description box, and you can pull up your birth chart so that you can see all of your placements. But it's really easy during this time span to overdo it, to overpromise. So extra grounding is going to be necessary. This alignment will be exact on August 14th at 16 degrees of Gemini. So you're going to want to check your chart and see if you have anything in Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius, or Virgo especially around 14 to 18 degrees of those signs, because you will likely feel the energy of this alignment the strongest. And again, this can be very powerfully positive. It can really give you a boost of energy. So just channel it appropriately. Try to watch out for verbal spats. That includes the internet, and channel the energies constructively. Then we get to the middle of the month, August 15th. August 15th, Mercury, retrograde, moves back into Leo. Mercury is currently retrograde in the sign of Virgo, and now Mercury is going to recede back into Leo and spend the remainder of the retrograde in Leo. Now, as Mercury moves back into Leo, it is in an alignment with Neptune called an inconjunct or a quincunx. Kind of minor, but it's important to ask yourself, am I really seeing the big picture? Be discerning. Use your discernment wisely. Trust your intuition. Just know that Mercury is retrograde and it is running amok on all of our emotions. And in an inconjunct with Neptune, there's the potential to only see things a certain way, or the way we want to see them, where that's not actually the way. So go inward and ask yourself, what is in my heart and what is practical? Journaling is great to do at this time. Journaling's always great, but even more potent right now as Mercury's retrograde. In pop astrology, you'll always hear that, oh, exes come back during Mercury retrograde and blasts from the past come back during Mercury retrograde. Yeah, sure. Sometimes they do, but that can honestly happen at any time. Having said that, this portion of Mercury retrograde, so the 15th through the 28th, while Mercury is moving through Leo, or moonwalking, as I like to say, it is quite possible that you could be hearing from blasts from the past. It could be former friends, former colleagues, family members that you haven't spoken to in a long time, lovers from the past. I want you to think of it as the karma has not been sorted between you yet, and that is why they're circling back around. Or in some cases, maybe you're the one reaching out. It could go the other way as well. So there's a really strong emphasis on potential rekindling, but then also closing things out. So in most cases, these past experiences are coming back into your reality so you can sort through the karma one last time and be able to move forward with true closure for yourself or for the other person. In some cases, you may totally rekindle. Really all depends. But anyway, from August 15th through the 28th, this portion of Mercury retrograde is where you're more than likely to see that, if it's going to happen. If you yourself are feeling compelled to reach out to somebody from the past, I know people will tell you, don't do it, Mercury's retrograde. I'm a big believer that you have to trust your intuition. You have to trust your own discernment. So if something is burning up inside of you and you have to reach out to somebody, I'm going to tell you to do it because your soul needs to do that. Your soul and that other person's soul or the group, whatever it is, that is necessary for the karma. Doesn't matter what the planets are doing. So always trust your soul above all else. Trust your heart, but take your head with you, like I always say. Mercury's in Leo. Leo's the heart. Leo's love. And I'm a big believer that when we lead with love, we can't really go wrong. That doesn't mean that it's going to work out the way we want it to, but when we're leading with love and we're coming from the heart and with pure intentions, it will go the way it needs to sort the karma. Okay, then it starts to get more crunchy. August 15th through August 17th, we have a hard stop energy. We've got Mars squaring Saturn. And Jupiter is blowing this up, not literally, but Jupiter is inflation. Jupiter is expansion. So whatever comes up with the Mars-Saturn square, which is tension here, Jupiter is like the cosmic magnifying glass. Jupiter's just gonna zone in on it and make it bigger. It's gonna zoom in. So Mars will square Saturn, and this is that pump the brakes energy, hard stop. This can be very unfocused action and energy, and again, it can be felt the strongest if you've got strong Gemini, Pisces, Virgo, or Sagittarius, but again, we'll all feel it. This is a literal energy of pump the brakes. So when you're out on the road, when you're driving, a little bit of extra awareness, because remember, not everyone is aware of the energies the way that you are, and people will be more bitey, more testy. So it's not going to hurt to just be a little bit more conscious of it and to keep these things in your awareness. Again, watch your words. This is very overwhelming energy. People are going to be extremely sensitive. Our nervous systems can feel more taxed. Anxiety can definitely be ramped up. There could be a lot of arguing on social media, a lot of arguing that comes out through the media. Keep your cool, especially if it doesn't involve you. And like I always say, while we're in the middle of these types of energies, when you receive a setback, it's a reminder to take a step back. Maybe write that mantra down and stick it on your fridge so that you remember it. But it's the truth. Because a lot of times with a Mars-Saturn square, energies from the outside are what are blocking us from progressing forward. So we could be going forward in our personal reality with a project or a relationship or a situation, and then some sort of world situation occurs and we are forced to stop. We are forced to slow down, or there's some sort of a delay. Remember, that's what Saturn is. Saturn is delays. Saturn is frustrations. It's also boundaries. And Mars just wants to bust through that. And especially when we have a square of these two planets, which is tension, there's this tension that wants to break, but it can't. Or it might not be able to just yet. Again, this is what can be felt. It doesn't mean it's going to land for you personally, but I absolutely do believe we are going to experience this collectively. We're going to see this playing out on the world stage. But personally speaking, watch your energy levels, watch your mouth, and be very careful about what you speak and what you put in writing. There's a lot of weird things going on right now with AI, so just, watch it. Then the 16th through the 24th, Jupiter squares Saturn. So we've already got Mars squaring Saturn, now Jupiter is squaring Saturn. And then the 16th through the 24th, the Jupiter-Saturn square is pretty strong. It's pretty tight. So that can make some of these tensions just feel that much more expansive. That can make the obstacles seem that much more overwhelming, even if they're really not. So it's important to take a beat, take a minute, ground, like I always say, do the things that make you feel in your center. Take care of the physical, because the potential is here to feel mentally overwhelmed. Then the 17th through the 19th, we've got Mercury squaring Uranus. This is happening at 27 degrees, Mercury at 27 Leo, Uranus at 27 of Taurus. So if you have strong fixed energies, which are Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, and if you're more advanced, if it's between 25 and 29 degrees of any of those fixed signs, you're going to likely feel this energy the strongest. But again, we will all feel it. Even though it's a tense aspect, it can be very positive for any type of intuitive work, anything that requires our mental concentration, because we've got Mercury, which is our lower mind, and Uranus, which is our higher mind or intuitive mind. And these two are coming together to bring forth information to us, whether it's literal or whether it's intuitively. Further enhancing that is that on the 18th of August, we have what we call the Mercury cazimi. This is the conjunction of Mercury and the sun. So what happens is Mercury passes through the heart of the sun, and this can bring in moments of clarity, enlightenment, and truth. It can. And the fact that Mercury squaring Uranus is only going to enhance that. I highly recommend that the 16th through the 20th of August, if you don't already keep a dream journal or keep a piece of paper next to your bed with a pen, or don't sleep with your phone next to your head, but a piece of paper next to your bed with a pen, when you wake up, jot down whatever has come in through the dream space, because this is the time. Remember, Mercury is the messenger. Mercury goes through all layers of consciousness to deliver information, and that includes the dream space, of course. So the 16th through the 20th, our dreams can definitely be bringing forth information to us. Symbols, colors, names, whatever it is, numbers, write it down, because it'll likely give you some clarity. If you appreciate this content and you appreciate this information, I also do a weekly forecast. It's live. And you can receive that by becoming a Soul Scriber or a subscriber to my newsletter, which, again, the links are below in the description box. Otherwise, I do put out energy updates periodically, just like I'm doing here right now. And then we get to the full moon on August 19th. That is going to be a separate video because it's a lot. It's a jam-packed full moon. There's a lot to it. So again, I'm going to do that as a separate video. So just be on the lookout for that, because that will be uploaded right after this one. So take really good care of yourselves, and I will talk to you all soon. Again, you can find all of my links in the description box below.